Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Mahesh Pandit Bro.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Bol, Madan Gopal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. যদি গৌর না হইত তবে কি হইত কেমনে করিতাম যদি গৌর না হইত তবে কি হইত কেমনে করিতাম Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to ISKCON of New Jersey. This is a picture of in the background, the picture of our upcoming temple in Parsippany, New Jersey. We started construction on it already, and hopefully we'll get some traction on it once the community opens up a little bit more. But I want to welcome all of you to this channel. And in a few minutes, we should be having His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami joining us. So kindly let us wait for him. And in the meantime, enjoy a few more minutes of his kirtan.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
This is the day, set it up like that.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Madan Gopal Prabhu. Hare Bol, everyone. Hare Krishna.
So thank you very much, Maharaj. On behalf of all the devotees here in New Jersey, we would like to offer you a heartfelt welcome joining us here on a wonderful Sunday morning. And we've been anticipating, excited about this, and particularly this topic. It's very intriguing, the essential teaching of Srila Prabhupada. So I welcome all the devotees from all over the world who have joined us. And we're also broadcasting this live on our YouTube channel. So look forward to hearing this class. Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So I'm also very happy to see all of you. It'll be nice if all of you have your camera on so that I can see. This is providing the facilities to see all of you. So, and okay.
Hare Krishna.
So, Madan Gopal Prabhu, which temple is at your background?
So this temple is our upcoming temple in Parsipani, the one we started construction on.
I see. I see. I thought as well.
Yeah.
It looks like the temple already came up.
Yeah, it's very realistic. It's only time is separating us, Maharaj.
Yeah, very nice. So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Padaya. Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale. Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Pashchatta Dishatarine. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashati Gaur Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So the other day I was talking to Nilamani Prabhu, and we are considering what should be the topic for discussion today. And do you all know what is the topic for today's discussion? Madan Gopal Prabhu, has it been?
We had broadcast the topic, the essential teaching of Srila Prabhupada, the ultimate conclusion of the Vedas.
Yes, yeah. So the point is, in simple words, what Srila Prabhupada gave is the ultimate teachings of the Vedas. The Vedas are vast. Bhurini, bhuri karmani, shrotabhani vibhagasa. Bhurini, many activities have been prescribed in the Vedas. Generally, they can be classified into three khandas, three branches of wisdom, or three branches of knowledge. And they have been explained in various ways. One of them is actually the 6 darshans, Shadanga, Shad darshan. And anyway, so generally they are in 3 categories or 3 khandas. Karma kanda, then Jnana kanda, and then Bhakti. Jnana kanda in a way is leading to yoga, so it can be also considered yoga as another aspect of the Vedic wisdom. But the ultimate conclusion of the Vedas is actually devotional service. That is the ultimate conclusion. And Srila Prabhupada has given that. Actually, Srila Prabhupada did not invent anything new. Srila Prabhupada simply gave what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave. And what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave is the highest. So we can approach that subject from various angles, but from whichever angle we come in, we will come to that point, pure devotional service. And so Karma Kanda section is teaching how to enjoy this material nature. Bhakti, how to enjoy this material nature. And Jnana Kanda is leading to mukti, liberation from the material bondage. But beyond mukti, beyond liberation, is bhakti, devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in simple way, we can make this approach. The Vedas are dealing with everyone. Vedas actually, like Vedas have been compared to a desire tree. Desire tree means it can fulfill everybody's desire. Some people want to enjoy, and the Vedas are not saying, no, don't enjoy. The Vedas are rather saying, well, if you want to enjoy, go ahead. And this is the way to enjoy. Like you want to enjoy, but you should try to enjoy in a proper way. For example, somebody may think that he will enjoy a lot if he can get a lot of money. and he robs a bank. He gets a lot of money, but instead of enjoying that money, he ends up in a prison, suffering. So the goal must be achieved in a proper way. Like if you try to achieve the goal in a wrong way, then instead of getting what you wanted, you will get into trouble. So that is the Karma Kanda section. Karma Kanda section is actually giving the prescriptions to fulfill any desire. Oh, you want to be a very wealthy person, you want to have a lot of money? Yes, do this and you'll have a lot of money. You want to have, you want to be a king? Yes, do this and you'll become a king. You are not satisfied just being a king, you want to become the king of the entire earth planet? Fine, do this and you can become the king of the earth planet. You are not satisfied, okay, fine. You want to become the king of the heavenly planets? You can. So this is how the Vedas are giving different prescriptions or give different means to achieve the desired goals. So that is the Karma Kanda section. But eventually, when one realizes that instead of enjoying his suffering, then he tries to find out where he is suffering. He doesn't want to suffer, why he is suffering. So that is actually taking him to the Jnana Kanda section. And then he realizes that this material nature is a place of suffering, and this body is an instrument for suffering. And then he goes further, questioning or finding out, why is this? Why is this? Why am I suffering? What is this material nature? And this is how different branches of philosophy are providing specific answers in the Jnana Kanda. And ultimately, it's leading to liberation, mukti. So Karma Kanda is giving bhukti, Jnana Kanda is leading to mukti. But then beyond that is bhakti. That not only takes us out of the material nature, but it situates us in an appropriate situation. Like just getting out of the material nature is not enough. Like one can get out of the material nature in two ways. If the material nature is considered to be a prison, then a criminal can get out of the prison in two ways. One is he can dig a tunnel and escape from the prison. By some means, he can escape from the prison, but when he escapes from the prison, that doesn't solve the problems. He is out of the prison, but the police is after him. He has to hide all the time. He doesn't have a place to sleep. He doesn't have food to eat. So his life actually becomes even more miserable. Therefore, just getting out of the material nature or mukti alone is not the solution. Especially when one tries to get out of the prison in an inappropriate way, like getting out of the prison by digging a tunnel or escaping in some way. Therefore, the right way is to find out what is the cause of his imprisonment. And he finds the cause and he tries to rectify that cause. And that is, he realizes that he broke the law. And that's why he is in the prison. So he appeals to the king and he promises that he'll never do that again. And then the king can take him out of the prison. And not only the king takes him out of the prison, But the king takes him right to his palace, allows him to stay with him and serve him, because the king needs a good servant. So that is what bhakti is, the positive liberation. Like the negative liberation has been described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Ye anne aravindaksha bimukta maninas tajjasta bhavad abhishuddha buddhayo arujya krichena parang padam tata patanti adha anadrita jushmadam. Ye anne aravindaksha bimukta maninas. Bimukta maninas. Desiring to become liberated, vimuktamani. But Aravindaksha, the lotus feet, disregarding the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Disregarding, that means disregarding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he wants to become liberated, and he performs arujya krichena parang padam tata. He actually performs great austerities, penances. But then he may arujya, he may go to a great height. With that height may even be close to the spiritual world. But because he had disregarded the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he falls down. So that's the negative liberation. They can't really become liberated. Rather, they lose their consciousness, falling from such a great height. Whereas the positive liberation, Krishna is time and time again reminding us. Aham tvang sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma sujata. I'll deliver you from all your sinful reactions. It's because of your sinful reactions you're suffering, and you'll become free from the suffering condition. Simply surrender unto me. Mamekam sharanam braja. So that is the ultimate conclusion of the Vedas. And that's what Srila Prabhupada has given us. And now, important thing to remember here is that the spiritual advancement or spiritual life, or even I won't go to that extent also, I will say, in order to follow the Vedas, one needs a teacher, guru. Without a guru, we cannot approach the Vedas, we cannot understand the Vedas, what to speak of practicing the Vedic injunctions. We need a spiritual master. Therefore, the instruction has been given, Ado Gurvashraya. Ado, meaning right at the beginning. The first thing to do is take shelter of a spiritual master. And it's a spiritual master that guides one into that path. Like, for example, we found a spiritual master like Srila Prabhupada, and he has given us the perfect understanding. It's so simple and so easy to execute. Devotional service. So that is the unique gift of Srila Prabhupada, the unique gift of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anarpita charing chirat korunaya avatirna kalu. In order to bestow upon us, give us something that hasn't been given before, hasn't been given before. In order to distribute that, he has come. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come. And what is that? that is Braja Prem, the loving devotional service of Vrindavan. So this is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave, and Srila Prabhupada has so mercifully distributed it all over the world. Sometimes we fail to recognize the value of Srila Prabhupada's gift. Like, why I'm saying it, like, in spite of getting it, we don't really practice it properly. So that is the way, that is a thing that we have to become very serious about. We shouldn't just take the gift, but not utilize it. Prabhupada has given us the gift, and now how are you going to utilize it? The utilizing is the practice, and that practice will lead to perfection. And this is going to benefit the world in a proper way. So many people are suffering in this world because today's world has become intensely atheistic. In the name of science, they're introducing all kinds of atheistic concepts. In the name of science, their whole agenda is not to accept the existence of God. But the result is they're suffering. And like in this way, we can see that, I mean, when we look at the Vedas, yes, there are many other processes. And when we come across Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, then what do we see? That Karma Kanda section and the Jnana Kanda section of the Vedas are like two pots of poison. We are searching for nectar of immortality, but we ended up with two pots of poisons. Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Kevali Bishara Bhanda. Bishara Bhanda means a pot of poison. So that is what Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda is giving us. Omrita Boliya Jeva Khai, mistaking that pot of poison to be nectar. If one drinks that, he'll be doomed. He'll be doomed. But the real nectar is in devotional service that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us in such a wonderful way. It's time and time again that has been reminded. No other process is the real process. They may go in the name of, like we see, like there are so many sadhus, and they are just following this process of Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda. And they're recognized in the world, especially in India. Oh, these are the sadhus. But the greatest sadhu that came to this world, Srila Prabhupada, they failed to recognize him. That's the unfortunate situation. Like, how can a bunch of idiots recognize a scholar? Similarly, how can a bunch of people, those who are in ignorance, recognize a saint? They are unable to recognize Srila Prabhupada's greatness because they are a bunch of people, those who are in total ignorance. But doesn't matter, whatever they may be, at least we can consider ourselves to be extremely fortunate that we have recognized. And we have, by some stroke of good fortune, we came across Srila Prabhupada and his institution, ISKCON, and we came across his devotees. And it is through them we recognize the wonderful gift that Srila Prabhupada gave. So now let's take full advantage of it. So thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Does anybody have any question?
If anyone has any question, you can raise your hand using the raise hand button, and I can open up so that it's easier to manage. You can type your question. You can type your question in the chat box, or you can just click on the raise hand and I can open your channel. Anybody have any questions or comments? Maharaj, I had a question. If nobody else has one, it's sometimes it seems inconceivable that Vyasadeva, he spent so much time giving us and establishing the karma kanda, and then he was scolded by his guru later on by Narad Muni for having done that. But it seems like at the same time, Krishna also in Bhagavad Gita says those who are engaged in karma kanda, don't disturb them. So sometimes it seems like we should let them do it. On the other hand, Vyasadeva was scolded, they should never have written these things. So sometimes it's like hard to understand what line of action should we take. Should we encourage people who are doing karma kanda to continue, or should we try to pull them out of that quagmire and encourage them to take on more Krishna consciousness? Or I'm sure there's some practical line of action. If you can guide us.
Good question, Madan Gopal Prabhu. Yes, the thing is, Vasudev had to give it because that's how Brahma gave it, right? Brahma had the responsibility to create the universe. He got the assignment. Create, like the universe just appeared and now it has to develop. So how to develop? Like people are going to come to this material nature with their respective desires. So now Brahma has to make arrangement for them, like it's something like a prison house. The prisoners are coming, right? And the prison in charge has to make all the arrangements. So that is what a kind of responsibility that Brahma had. So, he is making the arrangements. And as a result of that came the Karma Kanda section, right? And then he had to also consider that, poor guys, and they're trapped in this material nature. There has to be some ways to get out of it. And so then came the Jnana Kanda section of the Vedas, right? So this is how gradually things developed. And then Narad Muni found Brahma meditating on someone, and he was experiencing ecstasy. So he asked, who is that that you are meditating upon? And I used to think that you are the greatest. So upon whom you are meditating and thinking about him, meditating upon him, you are experiencing such ecstasy. So then Brahma gave him the information about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is how, you see, gradually, according to different needs, different khandas or different aspects of wisdom developed. Now, now as your final question that you had, now what we should tell people, like if somebody is involved in karma kanda, if somebody is involved in jnana kanda, like my answer to that will be, say you see that some people are suffering from a disease, and you see that two things are going on in the name of medicine, but they're not the right medicine. And if you have the right medicine, what are you going to say? Will you say, well, continue taking that medicine? Or you say, stop that medicine and take this one because this is the right one. Yes, that is the responsibility we have. Open their darkened eyes and tell them that, look, I mean, you're barking up a wrong tree. You're moving in the wrong direction. This is the real direction. This is the right direction. permission to accept this. All right.
Thank you, Maharaj. There's a question from Sureshwar Sham Prabhu. Please go ahead. Sureshwar Sham.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Dandavat Pranam. Maharaj, yesterday you mentioned that in your discussion that anything that we speak should be backed by scriptures. So what about the realized knowledge, Maharaj? Like realized knowledge, so how if somebody is saying this is realized knowledge, how do we understand, and what does realized knowledge mean, Maharaj?
Realized knowledge means that when the knowledge is properly digested, you see, from theory, when it goes to a digested stage, that is realized knowledge. You get it? I can't see him. Where are you? Like Sureshwar Goranga.
I don't see his camera as active.
Okay. That's why I was saying that everybody activate your camera.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, Rupa Vilas, she has a question.
Maharaj?
Yeah, this is Vijay Krishna Prabhu has a question. Go ahead, Vijay Krishna.
Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vijay Krishna from Portugal. And can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Maharaj, my question is in relation to what you just said about positive liberation and negative liberation. My question is it possible for a living entity to experience liberation while in the material world?
Liberation means out of this material nature, right? But the thing is, the point is somebody can be liberated but still be in the material nature. You see the difference?
Yes, I can see the difference.
Okay,
yes,
I'll give you an example. You see, the negative liberation cannot be experienced in this material, but the positive liberation can be experienced, just like in the prison. In the prison, some people are serving the king, right? Working for the king. Are they prisoners or they're free?
Sorry, Maharaj, can you repeat the question?
You see, in a prison house, there is somebody, they're serving the king.
Yes.
Working for the king, like the prison warden, prison attendant, prison sentries. They are in the prison, but are they prisoners?
No, they are not prisoners.
They are not prisoners. So similarly, in this material nature, those who are engaged in serving Krishna, they are not imprisoned.
Yes, I understand
they
now.
They are liberated.
Yes.
Yes. In the material nature, yes, somebody can be liberated and stay in the material nature. But those who are in a negative way trying to be liberated, they cannot be liberated being in this material nature. They have to go out of the material nature. That's what they try to do.
Yes, Maharaj, thank you very much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We have a question from SSD and then followed by Vamshi Dhari Gopal.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I have a question, Maharaj. When you started off the class with the Jnana Kanda, Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, and Upasana Kanda, or Bhakti.
Not Upasana Kanda, Bhakti.
Okay.
Upasana Kanda is also Karma Kanda.
Okay. So how, when say, especially in Bhagavad Gita, they talk about karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, how these yogas are related to the khandas, Maharaj? Are there any difference? Are they elevated
Yeah.
from khanda to yoga?
Yeah, like karma with bhakti is karma yoga. Jnana with bhakti is jnana yoga. You see, when it becomes connected with bhakti, then it becomes a means to be connected to Krishna. Yoga means to be connected. So that's the difference between karma, sakam karma, and karma yoga, right? Karma for the sake of Krishna is karma yoga. All right. Jnana for the sake of understanding Krishna is jnana yoga, right? But pure devotion is free from the tinge of karma and jnana. The definition of pure devotion is jnana karmad anabritam. Is free from the influence of jnana and karma. That is called pure devotion, Shuddha Bhakti. So that Shuddha Bhakti is what Srila Prabhupada has given. We are not trying to render devotional service to enjoy in this material nature. You get it? Some people, when they show devotion or do something for Krishna with a desire to enjoy this material nature, that is karma yoga. Similarly, when somebody wants to acquire knowledge and renders devotional service through acquired knowledge, there's jnana yoga. Did you get it?
Yes, yes, Maharaj. I think, yeah. So essentially, if we live for Krishna in whatever karma or jnana, it's like basically that's the centered around Krishna, or centered around ourselves. I know. So
Right.
I think
That's right. That's the difference. Centered around ourselves means Maya. Centered around Krishna is Krishna consciousness.
Thank you.
Bhakti. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, Guru Maharaj, like I had one question. So, we understand that, like due to ahankar, we consider ourselves as the doer, and then at the same time we have that Krishna has given us minute independence, because of which we are able to decide what we want to do. So, how to reconcile these two facts? And like, if I'm doing something, should I consider myself like that due to my free will I did something wrong, or it is my false ego which is forcing me or to think like that I am the doer?
Yeah. So when, yes, you see, you have your false ego, which is, false ego means identifying yourself with the body. When you identify yourself with the body, then that is called conditioned state. Conditioned state. But when you identify yourself as a servant of Krishna, then you are in an appropriate situation. Body means that I'm trying to enjoy this material nature through my senses. There's the body consciousness. But in this material nature, yet we are in this body consciousness. So what to do? Use the body in service of Krishna. We have a mind. Use the mind in the service of Krishna. So that is how we begin our devotional service. With our body, we serve Krishna. With our mind, we serve Krishna. With our intelligence, we serve Krishna. Then these mind, intelligence, and false ego, they become transformed. When you mind, with your mind, when you use your body in the service of Krishna. The body is being spiritualized. When you engage your mind in the service of Krishna, your mind is being spiritualized. When you use your intelligence thinking how to serve Krishna, then your intelligence is spiritualized. And in this way, the body, mind, and intelligence become spiritualized. Then there is no false ego. Then it's the pure identity. You are a servant of Krishna. So that is how our mistaken identity, which is based on false ego, is spiritualized. Okay.
Yeah. So Guru Maharaj, like my confusion was that let's say if, for example, let's say if I'm not able to do my sadhana properly, sometimes I get lazy, or sometimes not doing something, or I'm getting angry, I'm not doing something wrong, or sometimes cheating also. So is it like due to free will, or is it due to that false ego?
Well, the free will and false ego both are active in that case.
Yeah.
The thing is that, you see, our devotional service has also two stages. One is sadhana bhakti, practicing devotional service, and the other is prema bhakti, loving devotional service, pure devotional service. So we are not going to achieve perfection overnight. So we are in a conditioned state. We are identifying ourselves with the body. We can't deny that. So let us practice. So the practicing, I don't know how to serve Krishna. I never served Krishna for last zillions of lifetimes.
Right.
Now that I'm starting in this life, how can I expect that overnight I'll achieve perfection? But still keep on practicing. And through this practice, a sadhana bhakti will achieve perfection someday. So now let's continue. And as you're saying, there will be, these urges will be there. Yes, body will demand so many things. The mind will demand so many things. Body will say, I'm hungry. Body will say, I'm tired. Mind will say, oh, there is such a wonderful opportunity to enjoy. Let's go there. Mind will say, see, there is a beautiful opportunity to enjoy. So this is how the mind will try to deviate us. Body will try to deviate us. But we have to continue doing that. Okay, we need to eat Krishna Prasad. We need to sleep in order to rejuvenate the body so that we can serve Krishna better. So in this way, we try to become Krishna conscious through our sadhana bhakti. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
There's a question from Taruni Radha Devidasi. The question is, when Prahlad Maharaj was able to get love of Godhead in Dasya Bhav in Vaikuntha, we are nothing compared to Prahlad Maharaj. Yet we have been given the opportunity to receive the highest gift of Vraja Prem in Goloka. This seems inconceivable. How can we position ourselves to receive this gift completely?
Say it again, I couldn't get that.
So Prahlad Maharaj got Vaikuntha, and we are nothing compared to Prahlad Maharaj.
God Vaikuntha means?
I mean, he got Dasya Bhav in Vaikuntha. That's what
he is.
Dasya Bhav.
He elevated.
Elevated to Vaikuntha.
Vaikuntha, okay.
Right, but we have received this highest gift of Vraja Prem in Goloka. It seems inconceivable. How can we position ourselves to properly and completely receive this gift?
Yeah, that is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. What to speak of Prahlad Maharaj, all these very, very exalted personalities, including even Lord Brahma. He didn't have that. That's the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How we got it, we simply asked, we have to ask Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why you been so merciful in this age of Kali? And the answer to that also is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will say, because I came as Krishna of Braj, son of Nanda Maharaj, in the previous Dwapar Yuga, that's why I had to come here again in this Kali Yuga. And that is how this good fortune has been created. Krishna revealed his Braja Leela, and Krishna considered that I revealed my Braja Leela, but how will anybody ever enter into Braja Leela? How will anybody ever understand Braja Leela? Therefore, he came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to make us understand. And those who understand and those who accept the process, those who practice the process, yes, they will be the recipient of this wonderful gift of Sri Chaitanya.
Thank you, Maharaj. There are two more questions lined up. Shamkun Prabhu and Yashodhara Prabhu. Shamkun Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for this wonderful class. Maharaj, you had a lot of association directly with Srila Prabhupada. So I was wondering, did you get any direct personal instruction from Srila Prabhupada, which you can share with us?
Yes, yes. One very wonderful instruction that affected me, or that kind of I consider to be very, very important, is that Prabhupada told me, for many, many lifetimes you have been trying to enjoy, and you can see that you are still not satisfied. Just offer this life to Krishna. And then Prabhupada explained to me what this material nature is like. And then finally he said, you know, just offer this life to Krishna and see what happens. Even if nothing happens, what's the loss? It's just one lifetime out of so many. Just offer this life to Krishna. So that I considered to be one very, very important instruction that I received from Srila Prabhupada. And yes, this way there are so many such instructions that were very... I tried to write them down in that book, Ocean of Mercy. Srila Prabhupada also told, no matter whatever happens, don't leave ISKCON. And another time Prabhupada told me, after he gave me sannyas, Prabhupada told me that to be a sannyasi means he is not going to be perturbed even in the isolated association of a most beautiful woman. And then, I just kind of, told that, and probably that's why some religious groups don't even look at a woman. Prabhupada said, no, that's not the way. Because if someday they look at a woman, then they will become attracted to her. He said the best way to remain safe in that situation is to be in the association of devotees. And then Prabhupada said, Maya is Krishna's external energy, whereas the association of devotees is Krishna's internal potency. Therefore, when one is in the association of devotees, Maya cannot do anything to him. So these are some, very, gems of instruction that, I have been able to receive from Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. We have Yashodhara Prabhu next.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare
Thank you. Thank you so much for this nourishment. My wife and I have been drinking in your seminars online. And that answer you gave earlier about to Vijay Krishna Prabhu about how, the prison guards and the wardens, they are not actually prisoners. That was brilliant. I've never heard it like that, and it just locked into my mind. So I wanted to thank you. But I have a question for you. You've written down so many wonderful pastimes of Srila Prabhupada in Ocean of Mercy, and I'm thinking, over your past 4.5, 5 decades of devoted service to Srila Prabhupada, what if sometimes things are tough, there's a lot of issues going on, and you're being bombarded by things? What are some of the sweet pastimes of Srila Prabhupada, or sweet instructions that you remember that instantly lights up your heart and gives you hope and keeps you going?
Well, in that case, I can recall the first encounter, first association, sort of direct association I had with Srila Prabhupada. You see, it was those days, to even go near Prabhupada was a very difficult thing. It's very easy to, and you can well imagine, Prabhupada had about 10,000 followers, and everyone was dying to have his association. So Prabhupada's, secretaries had to, like protect Srila Prabhupada, so. And I realized that, I felt that, even to go near Srila Prabhupada is going to be very, very difficult. Although, before I met Srila Prabhupada, I thought that, Prabhupada will come and I'll just go and I'll meet him, speak to him. And then I realized that it's not going to happen so easily. So then, like one morning I heard that Srila Prabhupada was going to leave Kumbh Mela. That's the time Prabhupada was in Kumbh Mela, and I also went to Kumbh Mela with some devotees from Mayapur. And so I heard that Prabhupada is going to leave. And I just accepted it, like, fine, Prabhupada is leaving. But then Bhavananda Maharaj, he was the co-director of Mayapur at that time with Jayapataka Maharaj. So he came and told me that Prabhupada was leaving, and a small group is going to travel with Srila Prabhupada in a train, Calcutta-bound train, and I have been included in that team. And I practically started to dance with joy, hearing that. And then, at night the train started. It was one first-class carriage was reserved for Srila Prabhupada. It was hooked into a Calcutta-bound train. And a few of us, about 14 of us, were traveling in the train with Srila Prabhupada in that carriage. The next morning I was chanting, sitting in one of the compartments where I was. And then Bhavananda Prabhu came and he told me that he was going to take me to Srila Prabhupada and introduce me to Srila Prabhupada. And so he literally caught me by my hand and dragged me to the corridor and took it to Srila Prabhupada's compartment. Few devotees were already sitting there. Jayapataka Maharaj, Rameshwar Maharaj, and Bhavananda also was sitting there. And he came in and he sat there. Abhiram Prabhu was sitting on the floor. So I offered obeisances. So when I got up, I saw Prabhupada was looking at me and he motioned to asking me to sit next to him. So I said, no, Prabhupada, I would rather sit on the floor. And Prabhupada said, no, you sit there. So I just removed the blanket that was spread over the seat and sat in the corner. And then Prabhupada told me, after some initial exchanges, you translate my books into Bengali. And that instruction actually opened the gate for, to Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. Because of the service, I could go to Prabhupada anytime. And I used to show Srila Prabhupada what I translated. Prabhupada used to correct me, used to guide me. Yeah, that actually opened up my good fortune Then Prabhupada made me his secretary for Indian affairs. Then I started to cook for Srila Prabhupada. And so this way, as long as Srila Prabhupada was in this planet, I was with him all the time.
Jai. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj. We have a question from Neil Mani Prabhu. Neil Mani Prabhu, go ahead. You can turn on your camera as well.
Yes, actually, Managopal Prabhu, I think maybe Rup Vilas Prabhu has been waiting a long time. Why don't we give him a chance first, and then I'll ask.
Sure, go ahead. Rup Vilas Prabhu.
Yes. Haribol Maharaj. My question is, under this crisis of coronavirus, most of them means, I don't know all the devotee, but I talk about myself. We are in anxiety and fear. But our spiritual activity, maybe like chanting, doing service, hearing, reading, has been increased. But just like Kans and Ravan, they remember all Lord name due to fear and anxiety. So all these, our services are is it pratikul or anikul?
You see, Ravan's fear and anxiety is very much different from your fear of and anxiety if you have. Ravan was looking at Ram as an enemy. You are not looking at Krishna as an enemy and being afraid of Krishna, but your fear is from coronavirus, not from Krishna. And your anxiety is due to coronavirus. So there's a big difference between that. Don't worry about that. The fear is there, but because you're depending upon Krishna, Krishna will protect you.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. So Maharaj, I was question, when we come to thinking about the essence of the Vedas, we think from a scriptural perspective of two books, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And Prabhupada clearly recommended and encouraged us just to focus on those two scriptures, right? Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, there's no need for any other scriptures. So when it comes to thinking about the Vedas and so forth, why do we even need to think about all of these other scriptures or other books or other sources of information? I mean, I think everything is contained just within these two core books, right? I just wanted to get your perspective on that.
Yeah, very good point, Nilamani Prabhu. And in response to that, I will say that, like these two books are very important because in the age of Kali, our life is very short, our intelligence is very low, right? And besides that, we are always troubled by so many calamities. Therefore, we don't really have the ability to study the vast Vedic wisdom. Therefore, Krishna very mercifully summarized the essential teachings of the Vedas in these two books. Essence of Upanishads is Bhagavad Gita, and essence of all Puranas is Srimad Bhagavatam. And these two books are containing everything, everything. So that's why there is no need to study anything else, and especially the way Prabhupada has given his elaborate purports. So, but at the same time, you see, like for example, you are studying a subject and still you go to the library and read books in order to reiterate and elaborate that subject that you are studying. And so that will be at a mature stage. But at a preliminary stage, like when you're in lower class, you have just 1 or 2 books and you're just happy with that. But when you're doing a PhD and research, then you are going to a library and getting the references.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes,
Like,
Maharaj, I have a couple more questions.
We have written all these books, and they are important. Yes, Madan Gopal Prabhu.
Yes, there's a couple more questions in the chat room. Hare Krishna Maharaj, how do we lead our children in the devotional service in student life? Should they aspire for big schools, or should they choose schools that are favorable to devotional service that may not be so big?
Well, I mean, the choice, you may consult with them, but ultimate decision must come from the parents when the children are young. You don't leave it up to your children. But nowadays it's happening. The parents don't want to interfere into the children, or the system doesn't allow the parents to interfere with the children's decisions. And as a result of that, you can see what's happening. The society is in total chaos. Children must be trained properly, given the direction, given the training. And they don't know what to decide. They don't know what to choose, what to select. Right? What to speak of children, even the grown-ups need a guru for guidance. Even when you grow up, we need a proper guide to guide us in our life. I'm seeing this temple design from a close proximity. And it's amazing the way you had done that, with all the cars parked there. Who did it? Mother Gopal Prabhu?
Yeah, we have it's actually a very nice devotee architect from Russia who did a lot of the details, and he's done so much detail. He did in Russia, but the cars, if you look closely, they have New Jersey license plates also. I mean, that much.
Wonderful.
It's quite astounding.
Yeah.
It's very beautifully done.
Now, from the virtual reality, let it become absolute reality.
Yes, Maharaj. We have the blessings of so many of our leaders, such as yourself, and we're making some very good progress. In fact, Nilmani Prabhu, you can give a brief update on how many positive things can have happened, just this year itself.
Yeah.
Sure, Maharaj. I mean, thank you again for inquiring, and you have encouraged us and blessed us from the very beginning to go forward with this project and rely on Krishna's mercy to make it happen. And it's taking a while. It's taken some time, but we have confidence it will happen. So this year, with the help of His Grace Devaki Nandan Prabhu, a very capable steering committee has been formed, and with the help of that steering committee, we've been able to get a bank loan in place now. So we have a major bank loan in place, which will enable us to actually start the foundation and construction. This year, just a month and a half ago, we actually got the permit to do the foundation work. So, we were about to actually start all of the foundation development and foundation work and have the contractors all lined up and so forth. And then, things have got a little bit delayed because of all the current coronavirus situation. But we are still progressing and working out ways that we can get started. In fact, April 4th, we had scheduled a ceremony for a foundation stone laying ceremony where we were planning to have a nice event on the site, invite lots of people, and officially lay a foundation stone there. Again, we will postpone that. We will reschedule that as soon as we get a little bit more insight. But it's very, very clear that this is going to happen. From a personal front, Maharaj, I'm so convinced it's happening that we are selling our current house and have purchased a house just a little over 1.5 miles from the new temple, and we'll be relocating there and doing our best to make this project manifest. And again, with the blessings of you and other senior Vaishnavas, I'm sure it will happen. It's just a question of time and reliance on our determination and faith and prayers to Sri Krishna and Sri Gaurnitai to help us create and manifest this wonderful new home for them alone. So thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you. Those designs in the pillars are going to be what, marble or just?
No, they're going to be the what's it? Reinforced fiberglass concrete, so they can be simulated and so forth. So
very good.
Yeah. A lot of those details we're working out. Now we have many of the subcontractors for all of the different, for roofing and for plumbing and for the masonry and concrete.
How much was the bank loan?
The bank loan we got is for $2 million, Maharaj. So it's not.
What's the total cost?
The total construction will be probably around $6 million. So we are initially planning to do just the phase one where we will build the shell of the building and finish the temple room area and become operational. And then once we become operational and we are able to relocate, hopefully sell our existing temple property and also start operations in the new place, then we hope to do a lot of fundraising and drives and show people what is possible and then finish the rest of the project. So that's our thinking, Maharaj.
Yeah. Did Devakinandan Prabhu get anyone involved who may come forward with financial support?
Yes, actually he has. In fact, he just approached one of his donors who hasn't even come to New Jersey, and she already pledged a massive amount just for the altar and things like that. And then he has some of his other contacts and committee members that he's brought together. Some of his contacts are helping with giving the steel or giving the steel at a much steeper discount. Yeah. That sort of thing, because he has so many contacts in that construction industry.
Very good.
So, we made very tangible progress in that area.
Very good. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for taking the time. I know you are so busy with so many classes and so many schedules, and somehow you still made the time for us. I'm so happy and grateful that you were able to do that. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
I had 5 classes to give.
Well, we hope that you'll be able to schedule again with us. This is your second time with us, and every time you come, we get so many new devotees who are learning about Krishna consciousness and get excited. So we hope we can squeeze you again a few more times in the next few weeks. So we'll try to work that out. And thank you, Maharaj. And just a quick announcement to those who are attended. So this Power Pack weekend continues with, His Holiness Bhakti Maharaj today, this morning, this evening, Her Grace Rukmini Mataji on the Paradox of the Path. And then the rest of the week, we have programs every single night, 8 p.m. every day, Monday through Saturday, and 6 p.m. on Sundays. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami. And then this Tuesday and Thursday is Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Swami and Hari Parshad Prabhu talking on some wonderful topics. And then next Saturday is Holiness Giriraj Swami, and next Sunday Radhanath Swami. So please stay tuned for these developments. They're already been finalized. So please make a note of this channel. We appreciate all your time and joining us. And thank you once again, Maharaj, for your mercy. Hare Krishna.
And also,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Vishaka Devi on Saturday.
Yes.
Next Saturday, Vishaka Devi.
That's right. Yep. So a lot of power-packed nectar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Wonderful session.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. At my obeisances, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna.